if there were ever a true Michelangelo-worthy physique in today's bodybuilding world, it would have to be this one. He's the inaugural Masters Mr. Olympia champion, Robby Robinson. Robby won the Mr. America in 1975, so I'll tell you what, he is known throughout the bodybuilding world.
Robby had the greatest physique of all time, and he's 54 years old here today, looking absolutely unbelievable.
Mr. Robinson, first of all, thank you so much for your time and for this interview. Our viewers know a lot about you, that you are Mr. Olympia, Mr. World, Mr. USA, that you've done, you are one of the most famous people in bodybuilding, and frankly speaking, I would like to ask you not very usual questions, because the people know what you are doing.
Yes.
And I would like to make you some questions to find out what are you thinking about, how are you feeling, and
That's interesting.
the first question is maybe a bit strange, but I think it is important for all the people of a certain age. Do you live in harmony with yourself, with your soul?
Yes. I mean, I'm just a very happy person. I, growing up in the South kind of gave me that, I guess, that sense of feeling for myself to be proud, because I grew up a great athlete in high school. So, growing up a great athlete, you go back to this same high school and there's this bust of my body on that campus. So, to me, I already had that sense of pride and, what I wanted to do and what I wanted to accomplish very young. And I just followed it, regardless of what the circumstances was or the adversity, I just kept going, blocking it out and just keep going. That's how I've always, lived my life.
That's great.
Not worrying about, negatives. I'm not really into that. I try to be able to focus on what I really want to get done.
So you may say that you are a positive person. So you're mainly considering that the world is good, that everything will be fine. And
oh yeah.
You're
just the way it's
you're
going
an
to happen.
optimist.
You got to. I always thought your adversity is going to come. You're going to have those moments, but then I always think, don't look at them too long, and I just keep looking on the positive. I think that's how I live my life. Not really worrying about the negative. It happens. If I'm a cause of it, then I have to live with it. But I believe if I keep going and not focusing on what is negative, then my life is going to keep getting better.
That's great. What were your main priorities when you were young, and what are your priorities now? Can you say that maybe they changed when you were 50, they were different, or you have the same priorities? You are thinking the same way? And
no, I have to go back to how I grew up, and I grew up with my mom. My mom was just like my strength. I looked upon my mother as my guide in life, which she said was right. And if I got my butt whipped, I got it whipped because I needed to get it whipped. She needed to beat it, and I just kind of didn't really pay too much attention to that. I just kind of believed that I was going to be famous. I thought one day my name would be all over the lights. I just talked to my dog. I used to talk to my dog. And I used to say, boy, one day I'm going to be famous. People are going to know my name all over the world. And that's just how I felt. I didn't think of color. I just thought that I was going to be able to do this because I believed so hard in it.
And you did it.
Yeah. I just, I love the fact that I was able to achieve the goals. And as I say, be known all over the world, travel all over the world, display my physique to people, that've never seen my body. And the repercussion of it was just everybody thought it was incredible. So I just kept working on it. I think everything starts in the mind. I think that's one big thing.
For you, working out is a pleasure, a sport, or a hard work?
It's a pleasure. I honor the fact that I can get in there and do it and still feel the same way. It still feels the same with me when I was young.
And
You know,
every morning
I
you
was
stand up
excited
and
about
with pleasure you are going to the gym.
Yeah,
No?
I'm all excited about it just as if I just started doing it, you know. So
And what about now?
still the same.
Still the
I'm still the same. I see just you talking to me, I get chills.
That's great.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do. I still love doing it. I mean, I can miss one day, maybe 2 days. But they're going in the third day, then I'm thinking like, hey, it's time to go back to the gym. I pay attention to it. I'm motivated still.
Is there something very important for you that you consider you still have to do?
I've always wanted to kind of travel all over the world because I got a chance to see it young as a professional bodybuilder, and going into places and countries and doing exhibitions and seminars, and people want to know the knowledge. You know, they want to know how you were able to do that, and I wanted to be able to kind of maybe go all over the world and teach them, teach people and show them how to do it correctly.
What we must do now, Rachel. You're a super strong man. Is there something you're afraid of?
I was a mortar gunnerman. I was in the mortar pit when I was preparing myself to supposedly go to Vietnam. But some kind of reason the whole thing got shifted. And in this mortar pit, I was the assistant gunner. So when you drop that gun into that tube, that round into that tube, you know, there's always the fear that that thing just might explode. Just might explode, and you drop down in this hole. And I think that's probably the only thing that I think I've really thought, well, you don't really have a chance. So it's really no sense of worrying about it. But I was saying that being a mortarman, being a gunman in that mortar pit was one of the things that kind of, you know, made me feel fear. And I know what it feels like.
Can you say that you are a religious man?
I believe in there's a higher power. I think it works in a kind of way when you're really not expecting it to work. I do believe that people say God, I think there is a certain people, they want to put that name to it or title to it, but I think it's this incredible power that it's in all of us. And I think it comes about at certain times where it actually can make your life better. You know, I mean, you're responsible for what you do. Whatever you do in your life, you're responsible for it. And I think when you can own up to it, I think that higher power does have a way of touching your life. You know, bringing it to a point where you feel, in a sense, everything is all right. It's going to be okay. You know, I think that power does exist.
You believe in eternal life or eternal life of a soul or something?
I think there's an eternalness to it. You know, I wrote a book called The Black Prince, of bodybuilding, my life and story in bodybuilding. And when the first printing of the book, we sold like I think it was something like about 40,000 copies of the book. And then the book has not stopped selling. It's still 620 to 30 to 10. And to me, that was just a dream. I just thought about writing this book. I didn't know it was going to do that. I didn't know. But I do think the higher power has played a role in that. You know, I mean, I just want to help people and do a good job and live a good life. I think. You know, I think it exists.
What would you advise to the young guys, to the young generation who is beginning to who is making their first steps in working out in sports?
Learn how to. I would say learn how to train, learn the correct technique, so that will avoid injuries. You know, I've been training for something like about 40 some years, and I've never had an injury. Never had no elbows, no joints, no back, no knees, nothing. And I'm still now even more stronger now than I was when I was actually using anabolic steroids, preparing myself for competition. So I know that the strength, you can develop your strength in your body if you know how to do these exercises correctly. And as I said to you earlier, that's what I wanted to teach people. I wanted people to know how to do it correctly so they can actually build their bodies and maintain a certain part of it, because it does play a role in you maintaining it. You know, nutrition is probably the main focus that if you're trying, I would say, to a young guy, because I started very young doing what I'm doing now. That's probably one of the reasons I still look younger, because my grew up the gardens and everything growing on the property. You know, you ate wild game. Things weren't so contaminated back in those days, I would say. And, you know, I just ate basically a lot of wildlife, wild game, alligator tail, I mean, a lot of fish. So I was already had kind of groomed my body to, I guess, maintain a certain
So
look.
it's a constant
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
constant thinking,
Yeah.
constant self-development.
Yeah,
yes?
exactly. It's a constant flow of all those different things there, and it's just kind of, now, you know, I'll be 68 come May 24th, but I don't feel like that. I feel like 35, 40 maybe, 35.
I feel the same. Frankly speaking, the older I am, the younger I feel.
Yeah.
That's true.
I kind of feel that way. You know,
That's
kind
true.
of young. I don't feel older. I don't know how. I ask myself. Some people ask me, how does 6 or 7 years feel? I feel young. I don't feel like an older person.
So you can say to the older people, let's say after
Oh, you
50,
can- hey.
that they should do working out, they should
be
train.
doing
It is
something.
possible without
Yep.
any
Yep.
injuries, without any problems.
Yep.
to
You know,
the
if I had a
body.
problem-
if they
yeah.
do it correctly.
For sure. I think if they can get some, you know, that knowledge and be able to get into the
Right
the atmosphere,
trainers,
yeah,
yes.
where it's taught, you know, consistently throughout, so they know how each body part, you know, get that eating down and training down, and the body can definitely change. It can
And-
change itself.
And not to be in a hurry and trying to feel your body. Yes, to
Exactly,
listen
it's
to
a
the body.
feeling, your connection with your body. So I think if you're definitely getting out there, get moving, do aerobics, I mean, some kind of physical activity, what is it, a stretch class, anything to keep you moving, keep the joints and everything loose. I think it extends life and longevity.
So another thing that it's very important, I think, for the old guys after 50s. What is your advice? What should we do to feel younger, to feel in better shape? Only training or something else?
No, I
Only
think a
working
lot
out?
of it is nutrition. I think a lot of it, you know, a lot of the guys that are my age, you know, say are younger than myself. I have a lot of clients that come to me like in their 50s. And in those 50s, they're already saying that, hey, Robbie, I need help with my testosterone level. But when they actually send me a photograph, I can see their bodies. And the body is basically like carrying a little bit too much body fat. So if you're getting the body fat on your stomach, you get the body fat on your upper back, it shuts down your own natural testosterone flow. So if you're leaner, tighter, toner, then at that age, you should still be able to produce a certain testosterone level that you can still perform. That'll avoid some of the things that you have to use. That's what I say. And I do believe that at 67, like my testosterone level is 645. So I know that you can actually maintain the testosterone level, but it's just keeping a lean body. I think really training in an appropriate manner where you can do the exercises correctly and having a good eating program. Because that's all I'm doing. Of course, I've lived my whole life, but at the same time,
A few words about eating. Is it a constant struggle for you when you are eating? Because this you cannot eat, this I eat, this I don't. Or you eat what you want when you want?
No. I eat very regimented. I eat probably about 6 meals a day, but they're small meals. I start probably like about eat from 7 to 7. I eat in that time clock. So if you eat on a certain
Not later than 7.
no 11 and 7, because what's happening at that point, your body shouldn't be digesting food going to sleep. The lightest meal should be today. My lightest meal is probably 5 egg whites and probably a 4-ounce salad. But the body doesn't need to be digesting food that late at night. You want to have a soft meal, so that's what I give you. I've been doing that for 40 years. It hasn't stopped. I still maintain that eating platform, which allows me to do what I do now.
What, from your point of view, means sport in your life? Is destiny, it's your work, or it's your, let's say, like a poetry for the poet, like it's your, let's say, your feeling, no?
Yeah, I still love it.
Because you are professional.
It's my
of course,
profession.
no?
I enjoy it. It's my art.
But I consider that from the way you are speaking about it, that it's mostly art, not the profession.
It's not professional. It's an art. So that's what I was saying to you earlier. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to teach people that, you know, in groups. I mean, especially the older guys, how to get the eating down. If you can get all these little pieces down, that you can maintain yourself, and you can still look younger. You don't have to feel old. You only feel old because you might be thinking old. See, that's what I'm saying, movement. If you think old, man, that's what you think. If you think about something, I'm tired, but you're tired. It just automatically says in it. Well, I don't really feel like doing this, then you really don't feel like doing it. Because you've already said, I don't want to do this.
So we can say to our viewers that you are not professional bodybuilder. You are an artist
I'm an
of
artist.
bodybuilding.
That's how it's that.
Congratulations, master.